With this enormous introduction, we are going to listen much awaited address by a prominent persona at the international platform, Professor of Media and Communication, administrator, author, speaker, consultant, and editor, man with a multi-dimensional personality, our keynote speaker, Professor Yahya Kamalipour. I request you, sir, to deliver your keynote address.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was quite an extensive introduction. I think your expectations are very high, but I will try my best. It's a pleasure to be with you. Now it's 9 a.m., 9:12 a.m. in North Carolina, and I guess it's 7 or so in India, so good evening. I have been to India many times. Whenever I'm there, I feel at home, and hopefully after the COVID, I will continue to visit different parts of India. As a part of the Global Communication Association, we've had several conferences, and last year we were supposed to have a conference at a lovely university, but it was canceled because of COVID. And also the conference at Durban, South Africa, was canceled because of the COVID. So you see that the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted our lives and changed our behaviors globally. And that illustrates that we are all connected, we are all related, and we are all impacted in the same manner by various issues and viruses. In view of the theme of your conference, sustainable development and goals and the media, I would like to state that the media can inform, they can educate, they can persuade, but they cannot provide the resources, tools, money, and infrastructures. So we are giving too much credit to the media, even collectively. And it depends on who owns the media and what their goals are, what their ideologies are, what they stand for, and what they promote. They are not, all media are not the same. We have to keep that in mind. And media in democratic countries are very diverse and promote specific point of view. And in the US and in India, and that is the case. So this means that the community leaders, educational institutions, media, and people collectively have to work together to achieve their goals. No single institution can change a given situation. And as you are well aware, we have unfortunately too many significant global issues, including COVID-19 pandemic, poverty, economic disparity, inequality, climate crisis, pollution, and that is pollution in the air, pollution in rivers, waters, forests, and so forth. And one of the bothering aspect of our modern life is that plastic is suffocating our globe everywhere. I have traveled to 65 countries and I have seen plastics on the roads practically everywhere, Africa, India, even here in the United States. And that is that is something that can be changed and should be changed. So collectively, the media are often used as agents of power and control by those in power. And they can be agents of change. And the media are often used to manufacture public consent or and gain support. And you're familiar with my friend Noam Chomsky, who is almost over 90 years old and still active. He wrote a book called Manufacturing Consent in 1988, and that is a significant work in communication. And if you are not familiar with it, I highly recommend it. So today, information is an extremely important and valuable commodity. We make our decisions based on the information we have, or based on the information that we receive through essentially the mass media. And I also like to mention another important book called Public Opinion by Walter Lippmann. That book was published in 1922, but it is still a classic work. In that book, Walter Lippmann says that people act and react based on what they know, or the picture in their heads. The pictures in their heads. We all have pictures in our heads, and we act or react toward one another based on the pictures in our heads. The question is, where do these pictures come from? We were not born with them. So these pictures essentially and mostly come to us through the mass media, old media and new media. And then they become the basis for our interaction with one another. In comparing the traditional media or old media with the new media or digital media, we see that old media, traditional media, were one way, okay, from sender to receiver. But that equation changed with the introduction of the internet. So we have moved from one directional communication to multi-directional communication platforms. It is now easy for anyone from anywhere to interact with people around the globe. And that is significant. That's a significant achievement. And the fact that I'm sitting here in Greensboro, North Carolina, and you are in various parts of India, we are communicating. That is you know, quite an achievement in communication, global communication and interconnection. And it seems that this program has been live on Facebook as well. So now, another important aspect of this new digital environment is that each person can establish his or her own communication channel. Now, you can establish your own blog, you can post videos, you can post news, information, pictures, what have you. Now, this was not possible before the internet. Okay. And now the new media have given the opportunity to hear the previously voiceless people who could not talk about their opinions during the traditional media period. So, and from my perspective, each person can act as a reporter or even a medium. Each person can become a medium. That is conveyor of information via social media. This is important for us educators to convey to our students, to the next generation, to the future leaders, that whatever they do on the social media platforms remains somewhere forever. It is recorded and can be retrieved forever. We all of us who use the internet and social media leave what is called a digital footprint. And this digital footprint can and does follow us. So, and one of the issues with the young people is, how do they use the social media and for what purpose? Now, based on the research and studies, on the average, young people spend about 4 to 5 hours with their smartphones and iPads and laptops and social media per day, and that's more than what they spend on studying. So that's significant, I think. Now, what is significant in today's digital environment is that the new media allow us for interactivity and interconnection across the globe, and this is what we are doing now, is an illustration of that. So, the reality is that we live in a highly, on the other hand, we live in a highly polarized, divisive, violent, and tense global environment. Yes, technologically, we have made a lot of advances. Artificial intelligence, that's big, and it is going to become bigger and bigger in the future. Voice recognition technology, face recognition technology, motion recognition technology, identity recognition, robotic technology, and even at MIT they've been experimenting with robots and computers, and in fact there are computers that can communicate with other computers. There are computers that can communicate with people, and amazingly enough, they have also experimented with a computer that can read your thoughts, what you're thinking about. That's alarming. That's amazing. And what's the direction? And robots and computers are going to change the future. They're going to change our lives tremendously. And as a part of that, of course, you can think of the autonomous vehicles, right? You can take a nap and the car takes you wherever you set in your GPS, and then wake up there when you get there. And then we got the satellite, direct satellite access. As you know, Elon Musk has provided the Ukrainians a new technology called Starlink, so they can connect to the internet. That's amazing. That's significant. What we have achieved technologically. But in spite of that, we see that we are facing a lot of division, conflict, and of course, the ongoing war that has been in the news. And you know, in view of these, I mean, how do we define progress? What is progress? Is it only in terms of technology, or progress should also apply to humanity? Are we better than yesterday? Can we get along better? Can we respect each other better than before? Mutual respect is the key in any given situation. So, and what we have is in increasing division nationally, internationally, and that is alarming. But the social and political powers, mass media, corporations, you know that most of the media are either owned by governments, depending on where we are, or are privately owned by global media conglomerates. So we have to start thinking seriously about global responsibility. We have individual responsibility, social responsibility, and likewise institutions should have the same responsibilities. Now, if we do so, and everything starts with us, you know, Mahatma Gandhi is an excellent example. One person, you know, who was able and who lives forever, and who was able to gain independence through non-violence means, and through, of course, media and the newspapers that he edited and were quite influential in those days. So if the institutions, various institutions, take their social responsibilities seriously, then they can become instrumental in easing tensions among nations and cultures by promoting peace, development, and harmony, not conflict and division. Unfortunately, the old and new media tend to focus on negative news rather than positive news. And of course, the commercial media focus on selling goods and services at any cost. So the bottom line is that today we know more about each other and global events than ever before. That's significant. because of the internet, because of the social media, and because of the satellite technology and so forth. But what's interesting is that the us against them or them against us mindset hasn't changed. No, we follow the same old pattern, and that is problematic, and that has to change. In our interconnected world, there is only a collected us, as the COVID-19 pandemic has illustrated. You know, we are impacted in the same fashion regardless of where we are. A virus has taught us a lesson that what happens in one part of the world can impact the rest of the world. And related to this, that reminds me of a powerful message by late scientist, one of my favorites, Carl Sagan. And Carl Sagan on YouTube, if you go there, he has many lectures and documentaries and what have you. And one of my favorites is called The Pale Blue Dot. The Pale Blue Dot. And a video, and I like to for you to watch this important, significant message. And then after that, I make a few concluding statements. Is the video ready? The Pale Blue Dot.
Am I visible?
Yes, please.
Yes.
That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization. Every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there on the mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark, in our obscurity. In all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.
Thank you. So a significant and important message to the humanity. All of us, over 7 billion of us, live on this pale blue dot. We have to think about that. And we have to be kinder to one another. Global problems require global solutions based on cooperation, that is global cooperation. Now, the future wars will be over shortages of oil, water, energy, and we are seeing that we are moving in that direction. Collectively, the traditional and modern media can play a crucial role in informing, educating, and promoting local, national, and international development. And above all that, I think human development should be the key factor. And to conclude, again, these issues are multidimensional, but I try to sort of provide a global perspective. And I wish you all the best, and I hope to get an opportunity to meet you at some point in the future in India or elsewhere. With best wishes. Thank you for your invitation, and let's together contribute to a better future for ourselves and the future generations. Thank you.
Honorable Professor Yahya Kamalipour, sir, for a very informative talk on traditional media and modern media, advantages and disadvantages.